to get another win. I thought it was a dominating performance. The defense held them to 67 total yards. The offense had 400 yards of offense. Had 43 minutes of time of possession on offense, 43 minutes. 5 for 5 in the red zone, all touchdowns. Obviously, disappointed in the 60-yard field position swing on the punt return for the second week in a row. Guys, we work too hard. Our players work too hard in special teams. We can't make bad decisions that result in 60-yard field position swings. Guys giving great effort. Guys out there, really going hard. We had that one series where we had a fumble on a sack. They got the ball in the short field, held them to a field goal. But totally dominating performance. They had 16 minutes of time of possession for the game, 67 yards. So we need to place cleaner, smarter. We got a few mistakes that we got to clean up that really seem to cost us chunks of yards, which we got to work on. But it's great to get a win, to go out and do what you need to do, and get ready to get back into conference play. Any questions?
Jan, just raise your hand. We'll get the microphone.
Offensively wound up with some nice numbers, but the first 3 drives really slow start. Just what kind of clicked as the first quarter wound down, and what caused the slow start?
We've been slow starting a lot. And when you play in tough environments against good teams, those slow starts can really cost you. There are breakdowns up front, and it just seems like with our young guys, it takes a while to kind of get in a groove a little bit, and it's kind of a simplistic thing to say, but it seems like that's really what happens, and it's almost like they have to play to get a feel for what's happening in front of them. But we've got to change that. We've got to fix that. Just a couple guys. It's just a guy here and there getting cut free, to be honest with you, and it creates negative yardage plays. And we have all the talent. We're young, and we just make those mistakes, and we just got to keep grinding through it and keep getting better. And hopefully, little by little, we're going to squeeze that out.
Today on throwing the ball, despite the conditions, seemed like you wanted to throw a little bit.
Yeah, I said that earlier in the week. We wanted to throw the ball, even with the conditions. We probably would have liked to throw it more, to be honest with you. But we wanted to throw the ball today, and we just feel like that was another step. We wanted more balance this week. Last week, we really wanted to work on the run game. The run game today still felt a little herky-jerky to me, to be honest with you. It's these guys that were cutting free here and there that don't need to be. It's just ridiculous, and they're disrupting our flow running football. But this is all part of it, and we got to just keep growing. Those 5 guys up front, it takes a while to build them now. It just takes a while, and and it'll get better as we go.
Best, Patrick was getting those cross-field passes and really deep at his worst. He had some of those fumbles. What's your overall assessment of Patrick's play today?
Well, a couple of turnovers, weren't his fault. Those are guys hitting him from the backside on sacks that are just ridiculous. I thought he played well. He makes a couple of great plays with his feet every game. He throws the ball well. He floated a couple of early balls, but we didn't help him, right? That's the other piece of it early on in offense. We dropped some balls. We had, I don't know how many, I'm going to say we had somewhere between 3 and 5 real drops out there that didn't need to be dropped. They were good balls. I think he's playing well. I think he competes well. He has a real good understanding. Every week he feels more and more comfortable with exactly what we're doing, has more and more command of what we're doing. And we've got to, we have these young spots that seem to pop up now and then and again. Like, for example, our wide receivers, we feel like we're pretty talented out there, but we're really youthful, and we make some silly mistakes, and they pop up, they show up. Just like up front, and we're doing, we're going as fast as we can to squeeze those out of there, which will give us a much more consistent performance. We're really not far off from really, aside from one game, we really, could have a lot of yards right now. This is a reflection of where we are with the youth of our team, our offense, because playing in that offensive rotation are, like I said, there are 10 or 11 freshmen, sophomores in there playing. We gotta get this line firing more consistently, and at times you see it, and at times you don't.
Coach, what improvements did you see
Well, I'm seeing improvements each week in special teams. I really like our special teams play. Obviously, the obvious is the block in the back, right? But I like that. I like where we're headed in our throw game. I think defensively, we're playing really, really strong right now. We have got to squeeze out the very obvious mental errors that are disrupting us right now, because we won't get away with it against a team like Clemson, which is an understatement. And we've got to play, we've got to really let it go here this week, and that's what we've been working towards, having the opportunity to really have some, be able to do kind of what we do as a base, but be able to have some game plan things that we feel can create explosions. And that's the challenge that we're at right now. We went back to basics the last couple weeks and tried to keep things pretty simple and see if we could do them better, which we have. We stepped out against Virginia Tech, and that was a total disaster. So we got to make sure now, are we ready to kind of take another step here, because we have to, be able to put more things in, if you will, so that, we can become more explosive. You got to create explosions. That's the name of the game in football right now, explosions. You got to be able to get explosions, and on defense, you got to prevent those from happening. But I think on defense, we're doing a lot of things right now. We have the ability to play some base defense, which allows you not to constantly be in man coverage stress.
Okay. Can you just talk just about how much of a loss Garrison might be and sort of what his status might be?
I don't have any idea yet. I literally came from the locker room to here, so I don't know any of the details there. So I don't want to speculate on that right now. But Christian has really become an integral part of what we do, and so all we can do is say a prayer and hope for the best here, right? And I won't know that information right now, but he's an integral part of our attack. We got a little sideways when he got hurt because we have to readjust a lot of things we want to do because he's in those packages.
Would you consider the special teams penalties? I think all three of them that have called back big runs or big returns have been freshmen. Would you consider using more experienced players on special teams if you had to? Just to make sure that you don't lose dynamic players that you have?
It's a catch-22. I mean, I really feel like we got to develop these young guys, and you got to invest in them, and we're hoping that's what we've been doing last week and this week is investing, and that we learn, because we have a lot of veteran guys on special teams. We still have a fair amount of them out there, but they get gassed. There's a lot of running there, so you're trying to strike that balance, and we really like some of these freshmen, a lot, and I think they're going to be really good football players. So I think we got to live with some of this until we can kind of grow through it a little bit. And I think it'll pay dividends for us. So that's kind of where we are right now.
Just at 3-2, and with 5 ACC games in a row coming up, just how do you like where you are in the season overall, big picture?
Well, we'd certainly like to be 4-1 right now, okay? But we are where we are, and we're improving, and we're starting to watch the blossoming of these guys that we're talking about week in and week out right now. And obviously, we'd like it to be more consistent, but in the same breath, you see the formation of what's going to be a really good group of young guys, and that usually equates over time to real productivity. So, we get ready to go in ACC play right now, and we're gonna go from we've been a little bit in the land of extremes, So what I want to see us do is come out on Friday night and play with a lot of intensity, a lot of confidence, and we've done that here in the past, and we're going to do it again. And I want to see us take the next step, as a team, with great effort, and I want to see some execution against really obviously a top 10 opponent. We play, and I would tell you that it's my opinion that we're in the toughest conference in the country right now, and I think I'm pretty qualified because I've been in all of them, and I've been in some of them when they've been the best they've ever been. Okay, our conference right now is tough, really, really tough, and we're in that division that's obviously the side of our conference that's the toughest that there is. We're playing, you know, 3 teams that are top 10, top 15 teams. I mean, and I think 4 really when you count Virginia Tech in there. I think they are. And, you know, so our permanent crossover and our 3 on our side. So, you know, we're in a tough side of that division, and it's going to make us, we're going to get better from it, you know, and we're going to grow. And we're looking forward to it. Our kids are jacked up down there right now, jacked up to get back to work and go. Simple as that.
Coach, you're probably taking on the best quarterback, probably in the conference, maybe even in all of college football, for a game like this. Is there pressure for you to be more aggressive on offense, to do more trick plays, to be more, you know, outside your comfort zone? Is your guy who likes to do pound the ball, use defense, and just make it a slow game?
Well, as I said earlier, that's what I've said, yes. I mean, I think we do need to try to create more explosives. And, you know, I'm a guy that likes to see productivity, okay? And, you know, I've said that since I've been here, okay? We came in here in year 1. We had the runner-up Heisman Trophy running back with a big offensive line. We had 1 receiver. We pounded the ball, and we were very productive doing that, okay? Year 2, we had a quarterback here that was an excellent runner. We ran a lot of spread option football with him, and we mixed it with some power run game, okay? That's what we did because that's what the talent dictated. Year 3, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It never materialized. We went through all those quarterbacks. We lost our starter. That's yet to know. Now we come in here, and what we're trying to do, and I think you guys are all, you can see what we're trying to do. We're trying to become a much more balanced team that has a really good play-action game and is a much more balanced throw. And yes, we would like to build more explosives through different styles of plays, but when we tried, even though I know it didn't look like it didn't look like it to me either, okay? But we went down to Virginia Tech, and that little backfired on us. We were too young, we couldn't handle, and we became, you know, not good at anything, to be honest with you, okay? So, and that happens sometimes when you're young and you go on a road in an environment like that. I just saw it happen to Stanford against Washington last night. You know, when you're in a pro-style offense, you know, you'd like to have a leathered-up, mature offensive line. We're not quite there yet. So, long answer is to tell you, yes, we will and we do need to create more explosives. And to think that we're going to sit here and ground and pound Clemson, you know, that'd be great if that happens. And you know what? If it happens, we'll ground and pound and ground and pound and ground and pound. Okay? But we're not going to go in thinking that we're going to be able to just do that. That would not be a great plan. So our object is to create balance. And that's what I think we've done differently. Year 1 was different from year 2 to year 3, who can measure. And now what we're trying to do is build balance, and I think you see that. So I think you can follow the plan here a little bit. It's not that hard. Our consistency is not where it needs to be right now. That's just a fact. What does that mean? Whether it's penalties, whether it's some missed blocks, whether it's this or that, if we had that right now, quite frankly, we'd be pretty explosive right now. Okay? We really would be. And you'd be in here 5 games in at 4-1. Okay? Playing, by the way, some good opponents along the way, okay? So we're getting there. We're getting there, and you know, we're gonna face a buzzsaw this week. So we're gonna have to play at our top level. Period. End.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Coming in, guys, we have Patrick, Harold, John, and Davon.
Patrick, how much more fun is it to throw the ball and getting out there, even on a day like this?
It's great. I mean, winning's fun. So, and I don't care if we, you know, run for 300 or throw for 300. As long as we got more points than the other team, at the end of the game, we'll be fine. But I do like throwing the ball. And I think today we got some looks, some good play action stuff, and got the ball to Jeff in space, so it was really good.
Patrick, you talked a lot. Well, we talked before about the importance of this game, just getting to 3-2. But now that you're at 3-2 and approaching conference play, sort of where do you feel like everything stands, and how much
Yeah, I think we've come a long way. I think it was important for us to come out and play great today. You know, we had 2 awesome days of practice, probably the best practice days we've had, you know, since I've been here. 2 great days of practice, and I think it really showed today. I mean, our defense obviously dominated like they usually do. We can't take that for granted, but I mean, they played awesome. So just a really, really good team effort. All 3 phases played good today.
Patrick, you mentioned your fearlessness with making passes on that 1 touchdown throw to Michael Walker. You just snuck it over the linebacker. Take us through this that play and talk about your fearlessness when you're throwing the ball.
Yeah, we talk all the time that's supposed to go high in the back of the end zone. You know, as soon as I threw it, I didn't know if it was going to get over top of his fingers. I'm obviously extremely thankful that it did, but Mikey ran a good route, and it was a great call by Coach Leffler.
Just for John, just talk about all the negative plays the defense was able to get. It looked like about 8.
We just got to play fast and play physical. Like Patrick said, we had a great week of practice, and we saw most of the plays that they ran at practice, so we were on top of them.
How interested are you going to be in watching Clemson tonight?
It'll be very interesting, especially because of their opponent. We get to watch both of them, and great talent on great talent. So it should be fun to watch, and I think we'll all be cued into it.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say our whole team will be watching it. You know, I know they roll in here on Friday, but like you said, you know, we play both those teams. I've played that red team 4 times, so you know, I'm excited to watch. Hopefully, a pretty good football game tonight.
Patrick, just talk about that good play Harrison made coming back to the ball, and just, you know, is that a reminder of how tough this game is?
Oh, I mean, it's huge. You know, it was obviously you know, not what we want, but you know, I mean, made a really good play, and we talked all week that I wasn't going to try to overthrow him. You know, with those big guys and let him go up and make a play, and you know, now I kind of wish I overthrew him a little bit. You know, it's football. That kind of stuff happens. But you know, you move on. You talk to him and make sure he's doing well. But he made a great play that, you know, I'm not confident anybody else on our team can make. So you know, hearts are with him, and we'll be good moving forward.
John, just a quick question for you. You're taking on the best quarterbacks in college football. It's a game you've actually been circling, looking up to, because it can help not only the team but your draft status.
I just think this game will fall on the hands of the DBs. I honestly think that. I think we're going to be in a storm with them. We're going to be in a deep fight with them. And I think I'm not worried too much about my draft status. I mean, of course, I want to play a good game every game, but I think the game's going to come down to the DBs, so we got to have another great week of practice and stay on top of it.
In terms of like more workload, you saw it coming this week, but once you did get it, how did everything play out for you this week, David?
I thought it played out pretty well. I think the O-line stepped up today, and I just took what the defense gave me.
Obviously you guys have the goal of 200 yards every week, but for you and Hillman to go back and forth, sort of split the carries fairly evenly, like is that kind of how you see it playing out a little bit more? I mean, obviously that's at the coach's discretion, but are there benefits to having 2 guys that teams have to kind of keep or focus on?
Here at BC, I think the coaches are just going to play the best people, and whoever those best people are, they're going to play. And just anyone that's in there from the running back crew, like we're all going to give everything we got every down to try to help the team get a win.
Harold, was this about as clean a defensive game as you guys have played in a while? I mean, held them to 26 rushing yards, 41 passing yards, 1 of 11 on 3rd downs. Just talk about how you guys did today.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty clean performance, but it was expected. We were supposed to do that. We don't expect nothing less. Now we're just ready to get back into ACC play and get ready for Clemson on Friday night.
we need Mike.
Harold, as we mentioned before with John, taking on one of the best quarterbacks. Is this a game that you like because, as you said, he is a measuring stick for you? How do you measure up with the best players? How do you measure up with good teams? Is this the one game you've been circling as your breakout party, the Clemson game coming up?
I'm not too focused on myself right now, but I do know that big time players make big time plays in big time moments, and of course I'm always looking forward to Friday night on ESPN. That night's gonna be a big game. We're all pumped up for it. It's just a very exciting time, and like John said, we always want to play good, but we just got to focus on our defense as a whole playing good, so we can give our offense as many chances as they can to score, so we can come out with a dub.
Have the last 2 weeks been different, sort of preparing and working the kinks and playing teams that aren't Clemson, knowing that you're going to play Clemson? You know what I mean? Like, there's a different, for you, there's a different level.
I think the last 2 weeks, our whole team, we just been focused on getting back to the basics of the game, getting back to fundamentals and technique, and just getting back to the groundwork that we developed during camp and during spring ball. We can't let that get away from us. And I think we worked really hard these past 2 weeks and getting all the kinks worked out on both sides of the ball, and I just think that it showed in 2 games.